How does it matter whether you are black or white? Okay, so this is a song. How does it matter whether you are black or white? I mean, people live. People. God have created. God has created people in different skin colors. So, how it matters whether you are black or white? I mean, one color also serves the purpose. Right? Means, if all are same, then God would have created single color. But I don't know, means why God has created different color people. Like that, there are many programming languages. One programming language is enough, right? Means it can do all the purpose, but still there are many programming languages. And we have programming language like C and C++. So we are talking about design principle in a sense that I mean we have talked about your design principle in a sense that dependency inversion principle. So dependency inversion principle is if I have a class and this class depends upon this class, it's a lower class, then this class we realize it from an interface. So this class we take out the interface. So there is a new interface in between. So this lower class derives, realizes this interface, and now the upper class depends upon the new interface. Upper class depends upon lower class. Now lower class, all the methods they came in an interface, a new interface comes in between. Now lower class realizes the new interface, whereas upper class depends upon the new interface. Upper class do not depend upon the lower class. So that is the scenario. That is dependency inversion. Now question arises is that upper class function is written using a pointer. So pointer can be passed through parameter. So upper class is written through a pointer that is passed to its parameter. That is the interface pointer and object. So full function is written with the interface pointer calling its method. And at runtime, the actual object, okay, the actual object in the sense that lower level class object is passed to the interface point. So upper layer has a function has a parameter, and inside the parameter, one parameter is the interface pointer, which is generalized by the lower class, and interface pointer based we have written a full logic. Now the that's fine, but at the runtime we need the object. So where from the object where from the object would come? If code is written in C, so upper layer code, that is also called client code. Client code is written in C, whereas interface and its realization code is written in C++. If this is the typical scenario, if both are written in C++, very nice. Means how does it matter whether you're black and white? So everyone is black, no problem. Everyone is white, no problem. So if everything is C++, no problem. Everything is C, no problem. Means I mean everything is C++, there is no problem because interface and those interactions should generally happen in C++. So if everything, client code, interface code, and lower code, means upper layer, lower layer, and the interface code, if everything is written C++, there is no problem. But upper layer code, which has a function, and function takes the kind of pointer. Okay, so if function takes the pointer of interface class, then where from the object will come if it is a C code. Okay, so there lies a term called a factory method. So factory method is a so if class is a is an if class is an interface, okay, because there is no difference in C structure and C structure. All classes are structure only. Default is private and public. That is the difference. So if C++ class is an interface where it has only methods, then that interface can pointer can be passed to C side, and C can write code through the interface. Well, after all, it has to call the function pointers in the interface. So that's it. So if it does not have any data members, like because data member start it needs object layout and those kind of things. So that C compiler would not understand. But if data layout of interface is only it has function pointer. So if from C++, if I pass the interface pointer to the C side, then C would kind of it would start working. Okay, so this is kind of one scenario we can. Now, where from C, so C code would compile, where from it would get the actual object. Okay, so loosely it can be understood like this. Who will give the actual object? Because actual object cannot be created on the C side. If someone gives the actual object from the C++ side, then it's okay. Otherwise, anyway it is linking because it is written through interface pointer, the code in C side. So it's alright. But object pointer that will be passed, okay, so to the C from the C++, so that comes as factory method. So factory method is there can be two way the factory method can exist in C++. One way is now this is C, this is C++. In C++, there are two columns. First column are C API because C knows C can call C API. So this C API would be exposed to C API, C side, and this C API would hook into the C++ code. So they would do all the work and they would instantiate and they will pass the object on the C side. So C side, C++ side, in the C++ side, two columns. One column is column of C API and other is for C++. C API is exposed to C side and internally they call the C++ code. Now, the C++ has factory method. Factory method itself is a class and inside that we have methods which would create the object of classes they are derived from it. Okay. So if factory method, the class has three classes derived from it, it knows its subclass. So if someone pass a query string that I need a particular C API, so from C side, someone pass a query string that I need a class, I need an object with name do. So from C, it went to C API. C API went to factory method class and say, I need an instance of class do or whatever. So now in factory method, it takes the string as input and then it does some logic and then it decides which of the class should be instantiated, which of the subclass, and it instantiates it and returns its own point. So factory method class, okay, returns its own pointer. So it has other methods also. Just creating the class is factory method class. Factory method inside that. The method which we create the instantiate the its subclasses. That is factory method. So factory method itself is a class which has one method to create instantiate the object. Other methods are normal interface method. From there are subclasses derived, and each subclasses are known by the factory method. They register them with the factory method whatsoever. So if someone say create something, then create something, it passes the string called do. So it searches in the or it does some kind of logic and decide which subclass should be instantiated. Once it is instantiated, it returns its own pointer because these are subclasses. So they would conform to the pointer, factory method pointer. Now factory method pointer return to the C set. C now gets the as per the inversion dependency principle. C side would get the interface pointer. Okay, so method pointer with that it has made the code. Now it has received the object that is derived from the factory method pointer. I would say they realize the factory method class do or whatever, and they are getting the do object. So see the whole story idea is that if I have written a code either in C++ or C, with dependency inversion principle, where the client has function and it receives the interface pointer of type interface. From the interface, the actual object is there. So now interface itself is factory method. From there, the lower level classes they realize the factory method, and that interface now the higher level class, that is C higher level class, now it is C function that depends upon the in between interface. Code is written with that. Now it makes a query that with some string, the higher level to the C side, and the actual object is returned, and then it works. So dependency inversion in multi-language case or in same case, it should happen through factory method. There should be loose coupling between creating the object. Okay, so creating the actual object and passing. So the client side should not be dealt with creating the actual. It should be worrying over about only the interface programming. If actual object is required, it can pass the request to the factory method and a string, and then it receives the object. So factory method is the in between. So higher level, lower level, factory method is the in between interface that is realized, and that interface is now high level depends upon multi-language. Okay, inversion dependency, everything, interface, uh, uh, inversion. So this is typically called a kind of dependency injection in Java, but in C++ generally we use factory method. Okay, so let's start using it. So factory method as new interface that is realized, and it is made dependable, that higher level depends on everything, multi-language, dependency inversion, everything that we can use.